Prepare to be amazed as we take a look at some of the best-selling novels that have been transformed into blockbuster movies. Test your knowledge and discover some new facts with our list of novel-to-movie adaptations. Get ready for an exciting journey from page to screen. Harry Potter books, loved by many, have sold over 500 million copies globally. The enchanting series chronicles the heroic trio of Harry, Hermione, and Ron as they battle the Dark Lord Voldemort. The accompanying movies, loved by critics and audiences, grossed a whopping $7.72 billion worldwide. The ongoing debate between book and movie fans still thrives. Little Women, the timeless American classic, follows the lives of four teenage sisters during the Civil War. Author Louisa May Alcott based the characters on her own siblings. The book explores their relationships and their friendship with their wealthy neighbor Laurie, who falls for Joe. Little Women has been adapted into numerous movies and TV shows. The Lord of the Rings, a best-selling book, has sold over 150 million copies. J.R.R. Tolkien's fantasy novel was divided into 3 volumes and published in 1954. It follows Frodo Baggins' dangerous journey to destroy a ring. This epic tale was then adapted into 3 highly successful movies directed by Peter Jackson. These films earned a staggering $2.9 billion and won a total of 17 Academy Awards, including 11 for The Return of the King. Chuck Palahniuk's novel, Fight Club, initially struggled to sell, but gained popularity when it was adapted into a film in 1999, starring Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. The story follows an anonymous narrator's friendship with Tyler Durden, who starts a secret fight club. Despite being a box office flop, the film has developed a massive cult following. The Hunger Games trilogy, written by Suzanne Collins, is a best-selling series that takes place in a dystopian country called Panem. Each year, 24 teenagers from the 12 districts are forced to compete in a televised battle where only one can survive. The movies, featuring Jennifer Lawrence, were highly successful, grossing nearly $3 billion globally. Stephen King, the master of horror, has sold a whopping 350 million books through his 50-plus titles. Despite not being a fan of Stanley Kubrick's adaptation of his novel The Shining, millions of horror movie fans still enjoy it. The film revolves around Jack Torrance, who becomes a caretaker at the Erie Overlook Hotel in Colorado. As he settles in with his family, he spirals into madness. The Shining has been hailed as one of the greatest horror movies ever made, with some considering it the best or at least among the top 100. Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen's beloved novel, captures the lives of the Bennet sisters as they navigate societal pressures to secure marriages of wealth and status. But for Jane and Elizabeth, true love is their ultimate pursuit. This timeless tale has inspired numerous adaptations, with notable portrayals from Keira Knightley and Matthew Macfadyen in the 2005 film, and Colin Firth and Jennifer Ehle in the iconic 1995 BBC TV miniseries. The Remains of the Day, by Kazuo Ishiguro, is a compelling story about Stevens, a butler at Darlington Hall, and his complex relationships. While visiting his former colleague, Stevens reflects on their past and the Nazi sympathizer his master entertained. This thought-provoking novel won the Man Booker Prize and was adapted into an Academy Award-nominated film. American author Thomas Harris's famous character, Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a cannibalistic serial killer, is featured in 4 best-selling books and a series of movies. One film, The Silence of the Lambs, starring Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster, dominated the 1992 Academy Awards, winning 5 Oscars, including Best Picture and acting accolades. The Godfather, a best-selling novel by Mario Puzo, was turned into a film series by Paramount Pictures. Starring Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, and Robert De Niro, the first 2 movies are hailed as American classics. They depict the rise of a New York mafia family and the challenges faced by its leaders. While highly praised, the third film has received some criticism. Schindler's List, a movie based on Thomas Keneally's book Schindler's Ark, tells the story of Oskar Schindler, a German industrialist who saved over 1,000 Jews during the Holocaust. Steven Spielberg's 1993 adaptation was a huge success, winning 7 Oscars and grossing over $322 million globally. Angela's Ashes, a memoir by Frank McCourt, recounts his childhood in Brooklyn and Limerick. Despite poverty, illness, and tragedy, McCourt tells his story with humor and hope. The critically acclaimed book won a Pulitzer Prize. The film adaptation received praise from Roger Ebert but flopped at the box office, losing $37 million. The hit novel-turned-movie, The Devil Wears Prada, is a must-read for fashion enthusiasts. Based on author Lauren Weisberger's real-life experience at Vogue magazine, it tells the story of Andy Sachs, a young assistant to a demanding editor-in-chief. The star-studded film, featuring Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway, raked in an impressive $326 million globally on a meager $35 million budget. The Da Vinci Code, a best-selling book by Dan Brown, has captivated readers worldwide with its intriguing premise of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene having a love child. Following the thrilling adventure of Sophie Neveu and Robert Langdon, the book spent over 2 years on the New York Times bestseller list and sold a staggering 80 million copies. Despite receiving criticism, the 2006 movie adaptation starring Tom Hanks and Audrey Tautou was a box office success, grossing over $758 million globally. Memoirs of a Geisha, the best-selling novel by Arthur Golden, captivated the West and was adapted into a visually stunning film in 2005. Starring Zi Zhang, Li Gong, and Michelle Yeoh, it tells the story of geishas in pre-World War II Japan. The film grossed an impressive $162 million globally and received 3 Academy Awards for its breathtaking cinematography, art direction, and costume design. Stephen King, the famous author, wrote the story behind the acclaimed movie, The Shawshank Redemption. Based on his novella, Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, the film earned 7 Academy Award nominations and currently holds the top spot on IMDb's list of the best dramatic movies. Starring Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins, it explores themes of time, patience, loyalty, and the yearning for freedom. The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, 4 siblings find a magical wardrobe to a land called Narnia. They must defeat an evil queen and bring back summer with the help of a kind lion. This classic book, loved for generations, was listed as one of the best English-language novels. The movie adaptation was a huge success, earning an Oscar and $745 million globally. Jane Eyre, a 19th-century Gothic romance, is hailed as one of the greatest English novels. It traces the journey of Jane, from an abused child to a governess at Thornfield Hall, where she falls for the mysterious Mr. Rochester. With several adaptations, the 2011 film, starring Mia Wasikowska, received critical acclaim and adoration from viewers. Tracy Chevalier's novel, inspired by Vermeer's famous painting, delves into the mysterious story of the girl with a pearl earring. The movie adaptation, starring Scarlett Johansson and Colin Firth, received critical acclaim, grossed $31 million globally, and earned 3 Academy Award nominations. The Nanny Diaries, written by Emma McLaughlin and Nicola Krauss, became a best-selling novel in 2002 and was later adapted into a movie starring Scarlett Johansson. The story revolves around NYU student Annie taking care of an affluent woman's 4-year-old son. The novel humorously satirizes the lives of wealthy New Yorkers, their pampered children, and their nannies. However, the film version received negative reviews from critics and failed to secure any major awards.